Hello, Yankee fans. I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and it's today's video. We're breaking down how Trent Grisham has gone from a fourth outfielder to a potential all-star starter this season. He has been remarkable. He had another 2-home run game. But before we get into everything, I just wanted to send out prayers to Oswaldo Cabrera, who suffered an egregious leg injury, or gruesome leg injury, yesterday. It was during the 9th inning. I'm not going to show the replay of the play. For those who saw the play, you know exactly how just unbelievably painful that injury looked, how scary that injury looked, how scary that scene was. And we're wishing the best for Oswaldo Cabrera. We're sending our love. We're sending our prayers. He is one of the best dudes out there in the baseball world, and I could not be more heartbroken for a player to see them go down the way he did. So we're sending our love, we're sending our prayers, and we hope the best for Oswaldo Cabrera. But with that being said, let's get started talking about Trent Grisham's adjustments from last year to this year. Because if people remember, Trent Grisham was a salary filler in this Juan Soto trade that sent Soto to the Yankees. There was no, the consensus opinion was that Trent Grisham was a player that the Padres simply did not want. They did not want to pay Trent Grisham. There was, no incentive for them in their eyes to have him on the roster. And at the time, it seemed like a logical decision. And for about a year, it was a decision that you couldn't really be upset about if you're a Padres fan. Jackson Merrill came up and immediately became a superstar. You had the incredible single season from Jurickson Profar, who kind of immediately became one of the most important players, and I think the clutchest player in baseball that year, if I'm not mistaken. So the Padres had two outfielders who immediately kind of made you forget that they had Trent Grisham, and it's not like Trent Grisham showed up and performed for the New York Yankees. He was not particularly excellent last year. He was very mediocre, very mundane. This was not a player who, you would look at and go, man, if we lost this player, the Yankees would be in a terrible situation. He put up a 91 WRC plus, a 0.5 WAR. That was 11th on the roster. He was simply not very valuable. His offensive production was very, very meh. It was whatever. Fans could kind of care less if he was on the team this year. And it wasn't an unreasonable position to feel like Trent Grisham wasn't really all that valuable. But this year, he has shown up and immediately become the second best hitter on the Yankees. He has 12 home runs on the season. Those 12 home runs are the second most for a New York Yankee. And if you look at across the league, Aaron Judge leads the league in home runs with 14. But Trent Grisham is right there, tied with Eugenio Suarez and Shohei Ohtani with 12 home runs in a year. He's done it in 34 games. Ohtani has 39 games. Suarez has 42 games. So, again, when you look at how valuable Trent Grisham's been, the question becomes, how does a guy who was a fourth outfielder, who was a non-factor on the 2024 Yankees playoff run, how is he the guy who's now the Yankees' second best hitter? And well, it has to do with a stance change he made during the 2024 season. Grisham's season in 2024 can be divided into two sections. It can be divided into his April and May, where he was utterly atrocious, potentially a DFA candidate, someone who the Yankees might have cut if they could to save money that winter. That's what it felt like the Trent Grisham experience was going towards. He had a 0.51 average. He had just 2 hits at the end of May, a 213 on base percentage, a 128 slugging percentage, an 11 WRC plus, and 0 or 1 home run on the season and 3 RBIs. So he had been utterly abysmal for the New York Yankees. Everyone remembers the infamous Dodger game early in June where everyone's chanting, we want Soto, and Grisham hits a 3-run bomb. But from June onward that season, so you have that first stretch where, again, he has 2 hits in 2 months. From that point forward until the end of the year, from June onward, he had a 229 average, a 313 on base, and a 457 slugging. Now, for those who are super into batting average, this isn't going to be a slash line that appeals to you. But for those who are really analytically inclined and care about these metrics that try to account for total offensive production, Trent Grisham's WRC plus, his weighted runs created plus, was 115, which is 15% better than the league average. He had 8 home runs in 161 plate appearances, and he finished the year with a higher WRC plus than Alex Verdugo. In 55 games, he had 8 home runs from that point forward. That is very, very, very impressive. He was awesome down the stretch, and he didn't really get much playing time. I don't think he played in a single playoff game. Maybe he had a defensive substitution, but from my understanding, I don't think he did not record a single playoff at bat for the Yankees. Something that I think now fans are coming to kind of detest or be really upset about that fact, because maybe he would have been a difference maker for the Yankees in their World Series run, because this year, Trent Grisham has a 189 WRC plus, 12 home runs, a 1.4 wins above replacement. Among players with at least 100 plate appearances this season, Trent Grisham's WRC plus is the 4th highest in baseball, behind Freddie Freeman, Jorge Polanco, and Aaron Judge. So Trent Grisham's been one of the 5 best hitters in the world this year. It's kind of incredible what he's done. But when you look at that stance, what changed? His stance opened up significantly more as the season went on in 2024. If you look at where his stance was, or kind of what his stance looked like in 2024, Trent Grisham had a very closed off batting stance. He was very much, his feet were very, were even with each other. He did not have separation in where they stood relative to distance off the plate. And that, I think, left him very, it didn't put him in an athletic position where he could move a little bit and kind of put himself in position to do damage. In March, he had a 2-degree closed stance, so his stance was actually closed off. His front leg was a little bit closer to the plate than his back leg. In May, it was dead even, a 0-degree stance angle, so his front leg and his back leg were even with each other. And then in June, he opens it up to 8 degrees, so that front leg, he starts to open it up a little bit. Then in September, 17 degrees, July, 15 degrees, August, 14 degrees. So he was basically a double-digit stance open guy. His stance became very consistent in July, August, and September. And that has carried into the 2025 season, where Trent Grisham has a much more open stance. That same trend of opening up his stance has stuck through for the 2025 season. So far this year, he has an 18-degree stance angle that's open, and a 20-degree stance angle that's open by month. So his stance, again, has remained pretty constant. It's more open. He looks more dynamic when he swings. It feels like he's a little bit better at pulling the ball and getting backspin when he hits the ball in the air, which is going to help it carry out of the yard. He just looks so much better, so much more athletic, so much more free. I mean, it just looks a lot more free. And he's standing a lot deeper in the box, too. So he's as close to the catcher as he can possibly be without, being in violation of MLB rules. And that allows him to get more time to read a pitch, track a pitch, and then decide if he wants to yank it out of the yard or not. Grisham's done a really good job of pulling the ball in the air, something he hasn't done in years past at a high enough degree, which in San Diego, there is, a shorter right field than in center field or in left field for left-handed hitters, but it still didn't create enough of an incentive for him to be a huge pulled fly ball guy. This year, he's pulling 23.8% of his contact in the air. Last year was 20%. The year before that, it was 19.1%. So we're seeing a pretty significant increase in that regard. And his air percentage, so batted balls hit in the air, Trent Grisham has a 69.5% air percentage. That is the highest of his career. The highest mark he had before that was the 62.2% in 2019. And if you want to use full season data, because in 2019 he was a midseason call-up, in 2023 he had a 61.9% air percentage, and that would count as his highest air percentage. So Grisham is getting the ball in the air more. He's pulling the ball when he hits in the air more. Overall, we're just seeing a version of Trent Grisham that is far more equipped to do damage on mistakes, and I think the biggest difference here is with the fastball. The way he's hitting the fastball now is incredible. He's slugging 742 against fastballs this year. Last year, he slugged 513, and against off-speed pitches, last year, he slugged 133. This year, he's slugging 833. So he's able to just take advantage of pitches he knows he can pull out of the yard. He's doing a ton of damage. He isn't exclusively just a pull fly ball hitter. He can hit the ball out center field for home runs. We saw that yesterday. He has an opposite field home run against Pittsburgh. And he can hit balls hard to left center field and to right field, or in center field, but most of his damage is coming in the form of home runs. He has way more home runs than any other form of extra base hit. And ultimately, this has resulted in him being one of the best hitters in baseball. And when you look at where the Yankees are at, where this Yankee offense is at, what it would be like without Trent Grisham, he plays a massive role in where the Yankees have been at, why the Yankees are in first place in the American League East. His win probability added of 1.80 is the 7th highest mark in all of baseball. It's the second best mark on the Yankees behind Aaron Judge. And it just goes to show how important it is to have good hitting coaching and good hitting development, because the Yankees were able to identify this, and James Rouse was able to identify this during the 2024 season, and it's translated into an incredible 2025 season. And for Trent Grisham, this is free agent year, so he's going to parlay a really strong walk here into quite a sizable contract. Now, is Jurickson Profar a good comparison for a contract? Sure. And is that, the most money ever handed out to an outfielder? No, but a 3-year, $50 million deal would certainly be more than what Trent Grisham was expected to get if he had hit free agency last year, or if he had a year like last year and then hit free agency. He has shown to every team in baseball that he has incredible game power, that he is capable of being a difference maker in the lineup. And for the Yankees, he has displayed an incredible ability to be a leadoff hitter, which is something that honestly, the Yankees have not had. They didn't have it last year until Gleyber turned things around. In 2023, they definitely didn't have that. In 2022, their leadoff situation was a little bit questionable. They have not had a consistent leadoff hitter, so the ability for Trent Grisham to settle into that role has been a game changer for the New York Yankees. And at the end of the day, when we talk about Trent Grisham, you have to talk about the fact that Brian Cashman got this guy as a salary filler. We can sit here and complain about his usage in 2024 and say that in hindsight, he should have been played way more. And even without the benefit of hindsight, you could argue he should have played more. But on the GM, you got Trent Grisham as a salary filler. The New York Yankees landed Trent Grisham because the Padres were like, here, take him. We please just get him off our hands. We don't want to deal with the money. Please take him. We'll only complete this deal if you take him. There were some reports that the Yankees might have not even wanted Trent Grisham, that the Padres were really pushing Trent Grisham on the Yankees. And that is a win for the Yankees, to use your financial flexibility to go out and acquire more depth in the outfield is a win, and it is something that the Yankees should do more of. They should go out and take talented players who teams don't want to pay and are on cheap deals like Grisham's was, and a deal that you could non-tender if it went disastrously. You should do that more often. The Yankees should be way more willing to do that, because money is an advantage in this league. A lot of teams would rather save money than spend money. The Yankees should be in a position where they're flying against the trend. They're flying against where everyone else is going. They should be trying to spend money, trying to use money to upgrade their roster, and using that as an advantage over smaller market teams. Look, I get that the financial structure of Major League Baseball, you could argue it's not the most fair, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Yankees make more money than everyone else outside of maybe the Dodgers, and they should use that to their advantage. Trent Grisham has been a godsend for the Yankees. And I'm going to be honest, I really think that the Yankees have a star in Grisham. I think he will make the All-Star team if he keeps this up. I would be stunned if he kept this up and somehow did not make the All-Star team. And it makes me think about what we had conversations about with the Yankees and their offense outside of Aaron Judge. The Yankee offense outside of Aaron Judge has always been a massive question mark. It has always been something that we have criticized the team over, and understandably so. I mean, it is not like the Yankees have surrounded Judge consistently with high-quality talent that can protect him in the lineup, that can, give him a chance at changing the game. At times it feels like the Yankees would be putting Judge in a position where he simply isn't going to see pitches to hit, and they would have to, for lack of better terms, they would have to do a lot in order to ensure that their offense could do anything if Judge wasn't hitting. They looked anemic without Judge in 2023. They look anemic when Judge doesn't take it back or doesn't have a game-changing game at times. But this year, it has been a different story, and Trent Grisham is such a huge part of that because you can have a leadoff hitter who pitchers can't just milk a fastball to. They can't just groove a fastball down the plate to Grisham. That's going to get him on base. He's going to get walks now. He's going to get walked. Like, the Mariners are probably going to pitch him a lot more carefully. The Yankees are going to get Aaron Judge up in spots where the guy is going to have Trent Grisham on first, and they can't just walk Judge. They cannot just put him on and put first and second because Ben Rice is up. And then after that, Paul Goldschmidt's up. And then after that, Jason Dominguez could be up. And then after that, Anthony Volpe could be up. And then Austin Wells, etc., etc., etc. Like, this team's ability to, or this team's depth in lineup is so much... It's so much improved from years past. And when you look at the Yankee offense outside of Aaron Judge, I just pulled up the stats. The Yankee offense without Aaron Judge is slashing 250, 334, 457 with a 790 OPS and a 124 WRC plus. For context, that would make the New York Yankees, without Aaron Judge, the second best offense in baseball and the best offense in the entire American League. It's crazy how good this group has been. Look, you expect some semblance of regression at some point, but it doesn't feel like they're going to regress to a point where these guys suck. It's going to be maybe to a point where they're not elite. They're just good. It's just crazy. I mean, they have 60 home runs without Aaron Judge. This is crazy. I mean, there are 3 teams in baseball that have 60 home runs or more, and one of them is the New York Yankees. So they would have the most home runs in the American League without Aaron Judge. Again, a huge credit to Trent Grisham because he's playing such a huge role in their ability to generate offense without Aaron Judge, and he's setting the tone, and they have a deeper lineup than years past, and honestly, it's a really, really, really fun and refreshing watch on offense to see a lineup that can produce runs without relying solely on Aaron Judge. And yeah, I mean, Trent Grisham's awesome. His stance is different. He might be an all-star this year, and I couldn't be happier because he's such a good dude. With that being said, though, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and check out Fireside Yankees on all of your favorite social media platforms. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you check out our social media pages. We have an Instagram, a TikTok, a Twitter, a Facebook, and of course this YouTube page. It's all under the handle at Fireside Yankees. And lastly, you can check out EmpireSportsMedia.com for all of your favorite written coverage of the New York Yankees and all of your favorite New York sports teams. Orange and blue skies, baby. Let's freaking go, Knicks. We're up 3-1. You know what I want to say about Boston. Screw Boston. Let's go, Yankees. Let's go, New York. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Perfect.